Hey everyone, and welcome to the 93rd episode of We're All in the Same Boat. Today we're talking about machine learning, AI, deepfakes, and everything that is horrible about the future. Don't say I'm not even finish the intro. Stop.
I'm sorry, I'm already scared.
Today I am here with Josh.
Hello.
Austin.
What's up?
And Michael.
I fear the robot takeover.
As always, you can check us out on all the robots. iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and YouTube. And if you really like us, go to the iTunes app, search We're All in the Same Boat, scroll all the way to the bottom, and hit the 5-star button. That would be awesome. We haven't gotten any reviews in a little while, so if you can do that, that would be really nice of you. Thank you. So, gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. How are you? Are you surviving? The robots?
I'm surviving.
At least till the robots come.
Yeah.
Yes. We were talking about cell phones before and how they're addicting, and now we're going to talk about how things like cell phones and robots are going to murder us.
Well, that escalated quickly.
It's casual.
It really did.
So, to jump into the topic, do you guys know what deepfakes are?
I
I
learned that word
Wikipedia'd
recently.
it right before this podcast.
Okay. Austin, do you know what deepfakes are?
I'm looking up what it is right now.
Wait, what is this? Everyone's using the robots.
You guys could have done that while I was trying to figure out why my
right.
computer was being weird. You had time.
I
know.
mean, this is the first I've heard about this. Like,
Oh, yeah, well, because you weren't on your
I-
messenger.
I asked you earlier today, like, hey, what are we talking about? You're like, I don't know. And then
I
you're
know,
like,
because I figured it out today.
Austin, don't let the audience know that. We
Okay.
had this planned for months, guys.
That's right. It's
Exactly.
just that this just happens to be a trending topic now, but we've had this in the works for a long time. We're very
Since the
prepared
beginning of the podcast.
at the podcast. So,
well then, since I don't know what it is, why don't you tell us what it is?
so deepfakes is. I have to read this word, and I'm not very good at reading. But it's a
probably French.
portmanteau. Yeah, it is. Stop! You're looking at the Wikipedia page where I got this from. It's basically a combination of two different words, deep learning and fake. So to jump into what deep learning is, for you people who aren't nerds that use computers, deep learning is the thing that most people are kind of afraid of right now, because it is turning things like Google into iRobot, where they're going to start learning things and becoming human, and then we're going to have Terminators, and robots decide that humans don't need to be around, and they kill us all, and then they go off and live. Make us into batteries, like the Matrix. So, deepfake is kind of a new software that's using machine learning to fake videos. How do I explain
Okay.
this, actually?
This is like the whole thing where they can now just sort of manufacture quotes by people with like just make up sound bites of people, right?
Yeah, it's like they take an image of somebody's face and then they can paste it over somebody else who's talking. If you've ever used Snapchat does it. Snapchat and Instagram both have an option where you can take the dog face and you put it over your face. It's like the little mask thing. It's the same concept, except it's someone's real face. So they did this video like last year, and it was like Barack Obama, and it doesn't look perfect, but it looks pretty good.
It looks good enough that you question it.
Yeah, you're like, if you weren't paying attention, you'd think it was real, and it's not until you start to kind of look at it that you go, wait a second, I don't think this is real. Have you guys all seen this?
I've heard about it. I haven't seen anything for it.
Yeah. So like for a while there's been like people been using that for porn. Not that I haven't seen these videos, I just heard about them like on the internet.
From a friend.
Like people were putting like celebrities' faces on like porn stars' bodies. And actually there's an app now. It's called Deep Nude, I think.
Yep.
Let's see.
That's some of the stuff we're going to talk about, actually.
Okay, yeah.
Because there's like an academic side of this, and then there's the amateur side of it. So the academic side is used for like, oh, let's see if we can make a machine that looks at people's faces and figures out how they talk, and then we can transfer that to someone else. That's like the academic, like, let's learn something.
I mean, it's cool.
Then you release it to the internet, and what does it get used for? Porn.
Literally everything is porn.
And memes and porn. Welcome to the internet.
So,
Fake news.
I mean, the thing I see as being the biggest problem with this is trolling, because then you can just manufacture someone doing something awful, and then you can.
Yeah.
It's hard enough just having blogs where it's like, this person said this. Now there's going to be a video of it. We'll
This kind of
never
reminds
know.
me. It kind of reminds me of all the fake GoPro videos that came out.
Fake GoPro videos?
So have you ever seen the video of a guy wearing a GoPro jump off a cliff into a lagoon, and like as he like pops up in the water, there's apparently a great white shark like right in front of his face, and he has to swim around and run for his life. Like that's a fake video.
What?
So it kind of comes across that way,
That's no fun. Yeah, because
Yeah,
now
no.
we won't know anything.
right?
We're going to watch videos of Joe Rogan talking about stuff and saying stuff, and we won't be able to tell that it's fake. You know, there's articles that take everything out of context and misquote people, and now there's going to be video proof of it.
Video lies.
This is going to be horrible. Yeah, fake video. So fake news.
Yeah, like what would it do to proof? Basically, it would go out the window, because you could just fake everything.
Yeah, and on top of that, they not only have the like video option, if they record enough of your voice, they can almost make you say anything.
Yeah.
Well, so
that's-
isn't this what
that-
they just did with Toy Story 4 with the guy who
What?
played Mr. Potato Head?
What do you mean?
Wait, did they?
Like what you just said, like if they have enough of your voice recorded, they can make you say anything. So the actor who played Mr. Potato Head died, I think in 2017, and they just made Toy Story 4. It's come out, like they use like previous recordings of him from playing Mr. Potato Head to create his
What?
character in Toy Story 4.
Well, they
Yeah.
did that in the Hunger Games, because the actor who played that one guy died, and
Hold
they
on.
hadn't shot anything yet, so they CGI'd his face and did his voice like that.
Yeah, his voice, yeah, all of that.
It's
And
so
it was-
weird to say. Like, it
was wild.
Actually, it's funny because CGI is, I think it's computer generated.
Images, right?
Images, yeah.
Oh, no.
Imagery.
I gotta look it up.
Can Greg
It's funny because
imagine?
it's like, dude, they CGI'd the audio.
They definitely did not CGI the audio. CGI the
computer-generated
audio.
imagery.
Oh yeah, it is. Yep, computer generated imagery. They CGI'd the audio.
They showed
took
the
a-
sound waves on the cliff.
They generated the pictures of the audio. I didn't know they did that. But I actually never saw all the Hunger Games. I only saw
So
the.
I
well,
missed.
same thing
Who
with, like,
was
the-
it that got that? Who did that happen to in Hunger Games?
That is audio
The
CGI.
guy's name was Coin. The character. I forgot the actor's name. The actor was a villain from Mission Impossible 3.
Okay.
Whoever his name is.
Oh, Michael Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, I
Also,
forgot that he was
like-
in Hunger Games.
The de-aging they did uses a similar technology, right? Like Nick Fury and Captain Marvel. Terrible movie, don't see it. But
Yeah.
Nick Fury looks like he's like 30 in the movie. And if I didn't know that Samuel L. Jackson existed right now as like a old man, I would not have known it was like edited at all.
Well, so this technology, like to interpose faces, has been around in the movie business since like as early, I think, as 2002. Because I remember the first time it happened that they did it was Star Wars Episode 2 with Christopher Lee, fighting,
Really?
fighting Ewan McGregor
well, yeah, they
and
had like
Hayden
the
Christensen.
very basic face. No, actually, they did it in Jurassic Park. There's a scene where they actually replaced someone's face. In the scene when the
first
girl, the first in '92. That's
Whoa,
the
no
thing
way.
about Jurassic Park. It's so old, and the effects are better than most movies now.
Dude, let's not even get started on that. Like,
Because I'll go off on it.
Well,
but
no,
there's a
not-
scene. But there's a scene where they're in the roof, like in the tiled roof, and the Velociraptor sticks his head up through the roof, and it like lifts the girl up on one of those little tile things. And the guy
Oh,
kicks the
yeah.
raptor in the face, and she falls, and she's like hanging on by one arm, and she looks up into the camera, and they actually used some computers to
Wow.
replace her face with the girl's face.
yeah, I mean, this technology's been around for a long time.
But
And,
not
like-
like this. Now you can make them say things.
Well,
Yeah, that's crazy.
What did they do? They upped the ante, right? And they said, okay, we could interpose faces. Now we're going to be able to do it with audio and video,
I know.
and then like they've all just kind of mashed it together.
This is too much power.
It's crazy.
And it's no longer in the academic industrial area, right? Where
someone on Reddit got it, and now look what happened.
Yeah, porn.
First thing they do with it, they didn't extort like a politician or like try to take over a country or rob a bank. They made porn.
See if we can put this on naked people.
That's a pretty good way to extort people. Just, hey, we have this compromising video of you.
That's the thing,
you never did.
You can never prove oh man, there's no way to prove that. I mean, I guess you can prove that it's fake, but it's gonna be because it's gonna get
anytime
so good.
Someone has a video of anything, it's fake.
Well, see, here's kind of just the added problem that just kind of pushes all this. It wouldn't be that big of an issue if they released the video, and if we were in less crazy times, we would say, okay, can somebody verify this video is correct? And after a little bit of, due process, they'd figure out, okay, no, this video is a fake because, we've done that with other videos before. Hence,
I know, but some people don't even know if the moon landing videos are real.
But
people can't prove everything,
Well, no. So what I'm saying is
you can't convince everyone. It's not you can't prove it.
Right. But you could take a video and you could break it down and say, no, this is a fake. This is a false video because we can, strip it down to its bare components or whatever. I don't really know how.
Probably find the original. That would probably typically be the way to do it.
I mean, with porn, you can do that, but with other things,
well,
if I staged a video of, let's just say, I recorded a video of somebody killing someone else, right, and I'm the only one with the video. And then I use that CGI stuff to paste someone else's face on the killer. I got a video of someone murdering. There's no original video that anyone's going to get. Then I leak it to the internet, and that's it.
But
How do you prove
audio.
it's fake?
But there's audio that goes into that too.
I feel like at this point, best you can hope for is moon landing type stuff. Where they go, oh well, he's too short to be this person. Or he's too tall to be
the thing is too, even now when they don't fake videos, people just believe crap that they hear. So they see it. But by the time they figure out, oh, this video is a fake, your life's gonna be ruined already.
No, right. So that was the point I was making, was that even between the video releasing and the proving it's fake, your life's already ruined because the media's done about 150 different stories about it, and you're already
so
guilty
fast,
of it,
too.
right? Yeah, 24-hour news cycle.
And
I don't know, guys.
This
is gonna be tough. But
imagine that song where it's they said they saw me on the counter, it wasn't me. And she saw me in the bathroom, it wasn't me. That song. But she put up a video of me doing it. Okay, I guess maybe it was me. I don't remember that. It's gonna be man.
You just leave it. It was deepfakes.
But dude,
what was the one you were saying? Yeah, because there's fake nudes or fake nude. What was it?
Fake nudes. Fake nudes.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's
what was
been
it
around
called?
for a
Deep
long
nudes.
time.
Deep nudes is what you said it was called.
Deep nudes. There you go.
Yeah, but they got in trouble because people are posting a whole bunch of videos.
Well, they've been doing that for a while. Not with that.
I know, but I also am but that's just different. It's almost like it's so real that now it's not allowed. It's it's basically a meme, but it's too real, and it's defamatory. Is that what's the word?
Defaming.
Yeah. Sorry, Austin just posted a picture of.
Oh my gosh!
it's a
picture
nude.
of. It's a guy. It's a picture of a guy who, a Greek statue, and he's got a leaf in front of him, covering his man area. He's holding figs, and it just says, "Fig nudes."
Well, no, I think those are fig leaves covering his
right.
nether regions.
Right.
No, they're banana leaves. Get it right.
But you can't call them banana nudes. That just doesn't blow up.
That's inappropriate. So anyway, this thing, it's like this company built this app that allows people to basically take someone's face and then post it into porn. And they did it with a whole bunch of different people, like Taylor Swift and Scarlett Johansson and a couple other girls. There's a bunch of popular ones, right? And it looks pretty real. That's the thing, is it's a pretty realistic thing. And so everyone's kind of it's uneasy. Where it's too much. Imagine if someone took your face and posted it on there and it looked completely real. That's when you'd start being bothered. If someone just photoshopped my face and it was just floating and it was obviously fake, that's one thing. But if it looked picture real, it's like a whole nother ball game of discomfort for the person that happens to be in the video, like has their face posted on, like the ability to do that. And they're actually talking about possibly making it illegal in the UK.
I mean,
See, that's
It
how
wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, it makes sense to like want to do that, but how?
then again, the UK is
do
also
that?
not very big on freedoms of those sorts.
I would just make a video of the Queen being like, "Oh, this website is fine."
And they probably won't see it in England because of Article 13.
You work for the company and you want the company to be fine. So you use the app to put the face of the Queen saying, it's all right, never mind. We were just kidding about that law. Anybody who says they don't like it, you just make a video saying it's fine.
Exactly.
And then
Another
before you
video
know
is
it,
fake.
everyone in the UK is discredited and nobody believes anyone anymore because no one will say the right
There's no
things.
truth.
The people are like, oh, wait, no, it's fake. The Queen's saying it's okay is fake. And then you go right back. No, actually, that's the real one. The Queen's saying she doesn't like it is real.
I think my mom,
That one's fake.
I think my mom thinks that people do that to Donald Trump because whenever Donald Trump says something stupid, she's like, "Oh, the news makes it like the news is just twisting his words." I'm like, "There's a video of him saying it, Mom." She's like, "Yeah, but I don't know." That's what
It is hard. I don't blame your mom.
She doesn't even know that this exists.
It's
she
like,
just assumes that they're
well, no matter what it is,
changing
anytime
somehow.
someone tells me anything, I'm always like,
Yeah,
well, I don't know about that. Maybe not.
Amen to that, Luke Roxwald. Amen.
I was good.
I
Where'd
don't
you
know
hear that?
about
From? I try not to like sound like I don't believe them. I'll be like, "Hey, like, oh, where'd you hear that? That's interesting." Oh, nowhere. That's stupid.
I want to talk about machine learning a little bit. And I looked it up, and there's apparently 3 different versions of it. And one version is fine. The second version is a little bit scary, and the third version is horrifying. So there is a supervised version, there is a semi-supervised version, it's a little bit scary, and then the unsupervised version. That
What are the
one freaks me
differences?
out. So the supervised one is done like basically under a microscope, where it's like, okay, we're going to set this here and see how it reacts till it gets here. Semi-supervised, I think, is a little bit of monitoring, and completely unsupervised is let it go free. And so I think the YouTube recommendation feed is unsupervised or semi-supervised. Because a lot of times YouTube's like, I don't know how it works.
And when you say machine learning, are you talking about like AI? Or are you talking about
So machine learning, I'm not like a huge expert on it, but I know that the way it basically works is the computer is programmed to do a set of things over and over and over again and try different variations of it. So it basically kind of mutates. It's kind of like an evolution, like an artificial evolution, where it's like, okay, go this way. Did the results improve or get worse? They got worse. Okay, so go the other way. Did they get better or did they get worse? They got better. Okay, keep going that direction every time, but this time try a different little, like a little variation. And so it keeps doing that with millions of attempts. And then it starts to learn and it starts gathering data as to what works. So the YouTube recommendation basically says, take the people that watched this video and then take the other videos that they watched and take the videos that they watched and show it to other people that watched the first video and see if they watch it. Did they watch it? Did more people watch that video or less people watch it? And depending on the outcome, it will update the procedures it does to grab videos and recommend them. So it's almost like it's studying you, right?
Right.
So they use that for computer vision, which I don't know what that is, speech
Computer
recognition,
vision?
language processing, audio recognition, social networking filters, machine translation, drug design. I don't know how drug design works exactly, but it would be like if the computer said a sentence. Like imagine if the computer said, today I'm going to go to the store. You'd be like, thumbs up, that sounds good. Or if it said, today I'm going to the store, you'd be like, well, that enunciation sounds off. So the computer's going to red flag that one because the people listening to it didn't like it. So it's gathering data and it slowly learns how to pronounce the words. Like if you've ever used Siri, there's more than one version of her on your iPhone. There's the version that's like the regular, and then there's the enhanced version, and there's like a night and day difference. And it's all in like the inflections of the voice.
Yeah.
Terminator's real, we're all gonna die.
Long story short. I forgot. Dang it! I was listening to a podcast about this the other day. There's like a test. It's called the Turing test. Oh dang it!
The Turing.
Yeah, the Turing test. So it's to test AI. Like basically the test is to see if you were talking to an AI program over text.
Is this like the thing from Blade Runner?
I haven't
Maybe
seen
it's like
Blade Runner,
completely different. Okay, I don't know. Never mind.
which is a terrible thing to say as a nerd. But I just want to read this page. I don't want to get this report. I don't want your ads. I just want your science. So the Turing test.
Ads are machine learning.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's everywhere.
They're everywhere. Okay,
They're awful.
excuse me. Essentially, it's a test that to see if a program has human-like intelligence by asking yes or no questions and kind of make the conversations more and more complex until you get to a point where you can tell if it's a human or not. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I've heard of this.
So,
a little
like-
bit. I don't remember all of it, but okay.
Yeah. So I've only heard about it a little bit right
But
now.
you're saying so like the people are asking the computer questions,
Right.
and the first question is like, "Is the sky blue?" And the computer's like, "Yes," and then it's like that's pretty easy to find out.
But the thing is, they're
How
either,
many-
either
Well, I mean, like if
usually
you Googled something, like let's say I Googled, how many people live in China? Google will have that answer, like the first text will have that answer. So like it's easy for a computer to look up certain things.
well, also they don't know if they're talking to a human or a computer.
Right.
So like the same person could talk to like 3 humans and 2 computers in one day, and they don't know. They have to just like score it based on what it felt like.
Right.
So that's something that they've been doing for a while. I don't know if there's been any huge leaps and bounds in like specifically like what computer has like really passed the test so far. But I do know that like a lot of computers have come close recently. Just what I've heard, just
To
general nerds
sounding
talking.
like a human.
Yeah, because there was like there's like some like random like Twitter bots pages of like people who just tweet things and usually always end up tweeting about Hitler or something like that. Have you heard of those?
Yeah. Well, it's a machine learning, and eventually somebody sends it a ton of things that, make it.
And it's easy to like manipulate those because, like you said, people just send them stupid stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it's freaky, man. And it's a scary thing. Like, it's not so much the computer's getting smart. It's just not being able to tell what's a computer and what's not a computer. That's what really freaks me out. I mean, I'm definitely scared of computers being smart and taking over the world.
Well,
But-
it is a bit scary. Like, my friend told me this one story where there was this computer that was programmed to speedrun a game. And do you guys know what speedrunning is?
Yeah.
yeah.
Josh, do you know what it is?
I do not.
Basically, play the game as fast as possible. Without
Yeah, it's like
doing side quests.
you'll play
Okay.
like Super Mario or something, and you'll try to beat it as quickly as possible. So the program was programmed to play the game as fast as possible and to not lose at all costs. And here's what it would do. It would basically do what I said earlier about trying different things, and if it lost, it would redo it and try everything up to the point that it lost, and then try something else. So at the beginning of the game, Mario runs to the right. Then Mario runs into a villain, like a bad, like a Goomba, and he dies. Oops, lost. So then the computer rewinds 1 frame and tries to jump. Well, Mario jumps, but he doesn't jump high enough, so he still runs into Goomba and dies. So those are the only 2 options for it to do something in those 2 frames that it ran into the Goomba. So now it goes back 3 frames, or 2 frames now, and it jumps a little bit earlier, and then it jumps a little bit earlier, and it jumps a little bit earlier. And then he hits the Goomba and it kills him, and he keeps running right, and he keeps surviving. And it does that until it gets all the way to the end of the game. So it would take a lot of tries to make it to the end. But eventually, after running for a certain amount of time, the computer would figure out all the right keys to push it just the right time to beat the game as fast as possible. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, the computer had one very important instruction, which was no matter what, do not lose. However, to see what the computer would do, At the very end of the game, they made a part that's impossible to win. So the computer got all the way to that point, and it kept dying, kept trying different things, and eventually it got to a point where it was like it realized there was no way to not die, so it knew no matter what it would lose. But remember, the rule is to not lose, so it just paused the game forever.
What?
The computer just was like, pause, I'm not dying, I'm still alive.
I can't lose if I don't play.
I know, but that's scary. It's like, how did it know to do that?
You
That's
know,
the thing, man. It's okay. So in movies, like whenever like the characters get sucked into the computer and they somehow beat the computer, that's the thing. The computer is the computer. Like it can control to an extent. It can control what's happening within itself.
see, this
Like
is the
the
thing
Matrix,
that
you mean?
always blows my mind
Yeah,
when
so
like
that
people
program's
talk
integrated
about
into that game, then you can just control it.
Hold on, what were you going to say, Josh?
this is the thing that always blows my mind about when like companies and stuff are talking about, so what we're talking about now, like machine learning, artificial intelligences, or virtual intelligences, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, there is a demographic of this America, i.e. nerds, that know that this is not a good idea. And it's kind of like that scene from Avengers Endgame when they're talking about time travel. And they're like,
Spoilers.
sorry. I
was kidding.
Spoilers.
They've
well,
had
yeah.
time. They've
They've
had
had plenty of
The
time.
spoiler
Way
embargo is
past-
lifted.
You know what this is like? It's like if someone bought milk and the expiration date was so far gone and they drank a cup of it and were like, "Whoa, this is spoiled." It's like, you ran out of time to complain about that.
Well, so the scene in Endgame when they're trying to figure out how time travel works, and Professor Hulk is like, "Well, it works this way," and the movies have it wrong, and then literally like Rhodey and Ant-Man and like two other characters just start listing off all these movies, like it happened this way in this movie, and this movie, and this movie, and this movie. I feel like that's the nerds in this case. Like artificial intelligence really wouldn't try to take over the world. Really? This movie, this movie, this movie, this movie, this video game, this video game, this video game, this video game. And the list would just go on and on and on and on and
Yeah,
on.
really.
I'm sitting
You're
there
like
and
The
I'm like,
Matrix, Terminator, iRobot, all the video games that are.
I
the
mean,
next thing you're going to tell me is that the Reapers are real from Mass Effect. Like we are all doomed.
well, that does kind of tie into this artificial intelligence thing pretty
What
well.
are the? I don't know what the
Right?
Reapers are. I don't play
They're
Mass Effect. I'm not a
giant-
nerd.
They're giant space robots that come and wipe out all of all living things every 50,000 years. And they're giant robots.
It's a video
That-
game reference.
Okay. I know it's a video game. I just don't know. I don't know the thing.
So I don't know. I sometimes get kind of skeptical when people talk about like, oh, AI is gonna take over the world and all that, because there's a part of me that's kind of like, wouldn't it really only do that if we like made it want to do that?
No, actually, no. So here's why. Okay. So I thought about this before we started this and I wrote this down.
Of course you did.
Imagine if, hey, be nice to me. So imagine if we made a computer and we programmed the computer as like, keep as few people from starving as possible. You're like, well, that's great. The computer's going to just keep like feeding people, right? Because it wants to keep as few people starving as possible. And then you think back to, oh yeah, that computer paused the game to keep from losing. The computer doesn't exactly understand what we're implying. And so the computer just kills everyone. Like, well, they're not starving now; they're all dead. So it's like, how do you keep the computer from getting too smart that it's like, I could solve this problem, right?
I mean,
One little bug and
I feel like that's not
unleashes everything.
I feel like that's not the computer being smart. It's people
drones
being
flying
dumb.
around. Just everyone. Wait, what? Well, no,
So I
because
feel-
as a
that's people
programmer,
being-
wait a second. As a programmer, you make bugs like all the time, and this is one of those bugs where it's like, oops, so we gave it the keys to all the drones.
Well, but you say like, oh well, have nobody starved to death, but we forgot to tell it don't kill them.
Yeah, I know, but like it'd be like, oh, well, we're not gonna kill them. We're gonna just
Put them all in stasis.
make them burn as few calories as possible. So cut their arms and legs off so they can't move. So
Not
actually,
interesting.
first of all, I like that nobody caught that I said give them the keys to the drone, as if a drone was something you started like a car.
I just thought
I
about
don't
the
know.
passwords. But yeah.
Ugh. There's no arguing it.
No, it's freaky no matter what. But I remember, so there's this, I'm saying it to you guys now. It's a long video. Don't watch it now, but watch it later. Matt Pat on Film Theory actually talked about this for a little bit. About Terminator. Do you guys know what the Film Theory channel is?
Yep.
This guy like for you listeners at home, guy overanalyzes movies and stuff. Actually, like get some pretty good science in it. So shout out to Film Theory by Matt Pat. He's awesome. He did an episode.
He does do like very intensive videos.
Yeah, like it talks all about like how like memory works and like like how Spider-Man's joints be affected by swinging. Anyway, he did a video on the Terminator and like Skynet and stuff like that, and he was talking about how fast and how smart and how strong computers are getting. At the very end, he's like, but all that doesn't matter because of batteries. None of these can last for more than like 15 minutes, so we're fine. Like,
wait, what?
Yeah, we don't have a battery that's big enough to power like a Terminator-sized robot for long enough.
Until Google.
I mean, they'll figure it out by then. They'll probably use solar power.
Yeah,
but anyway, I just thought it was funny.
Or the power of human flesh. You don't know.
Anyway.
That exists, actually. I think that exists.
What? I mean, I guess you guys ever do that thing where like you would hold hands in a circle and then they touch wires to like a little light bulb and it light up?
Robot powered by organic material.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. They called it like the
military researchers develop corpse-eating robots. What is wrong with the world?
Hold on, let me look this up.
Insane. Military made a robot that can eat.
I kind of ignored it because I didn't want to die.
Oh, I hope that's not a real person in that photo. That's horrifying.
So this is related. This is related,
Oh, God.
but like
What? What, Josh?
I've never said "oh God" like that before in my life. This is the moment I just had.
So
It's game over.
so this is related to what we're talking about, but it's a slightly separate
only
topic.
150 pounds of biofuel could provide sufficient energy to drive this vehicle 100 miles. You could eat one person,
Guys?
drive 100 miles, and eat somebody else. I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue.
Well, I'm reading the article about it, and apparently the robots are going to kill us all to save the planet.
This is how it starts.
We are. Hang on. We completely understand the public's concern about futuristic robots feeding on the human population, but that is not our mission. We are focused on demonstrating that our engines can create usable green power from plentiful renewable plant matter. The commercial applications
power
alone for this Earth-friendly energy solution are enormous. So, basically, they're going to do away with gas by having your car eat someone.
I think it's tongue in cheek. The point is that like
green power, red power.
green power.
What is this?
Oh no! I almost never mind. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little bit tongue in cheek. I don't think they're trying to do that, but definitely that's how it can. That's what's scary is that it could go that way.
Oh my gosh! You want to know something? Okay.
What?
So it was stopped in 2015. Thank God. You know what it was called? Energetically Autonomous Tactical Robot. You know what that acronym is? EATER.
What?
What was it?
There's no way this is real.
I'm reading an
Where
article
is this
right now.
coming from?
It looks like satire, but I don't know.
There's no way that this is real.
We Are the Mighty. This site I'm looking at now.
I'm posting a link.
Gizmodo, Fox News,
Oh, it's on Fox News. That's true.
Technology
100%.
Yink. What? Wired.com. This is no
Guardian.
way this is real. There's no way this is.
Matthew.
Yeah, it's really. It's like the
Upside.
Onion. I don't understand. This is
Huff Post.
This is fake. There's no way this is real.
Conservatives worry flesh-eating robots will consume us all. Well, conservatives. I clicked on it. Conservatives worry flesh-eating robots will consume Christians. Why specifically? Why? I hate Christians. I hate my people.
So let's talk
We need to move
about
on.
Boston Mechanics.
Hold on. So I'm reading the Wikipedia article on the EATER, and as of 2015, it is no longer being developed, so we don't have to worry about robots eating us. At least not
Until-
yet.
I mean, no, maybe just not official. It's just we just stopped saying that we're developing it.
Well, yeah. Well, one.
It's like how Apple says they
one-
don't keep your fingerprint.
Yeah. One, yeah, it's like they said it. It's true. This must be true. But it's like, one, we aren't. The U.S. quote unquote isn't, but anyone could do it. You know, it's like
Yeah, it's super easy.
It's like Russia's making it over there. We don't know. All right.
Exactly.
Pull up the Boston Dynamics video and watch it. I'm playing it now.
All right. So basically,
Okay, so there's a robot that looks like a little dwarf human walking around, like actually walking.
you watch the one where he's outside.
He's opening a door.
Oh.
No, I'm watching the real one.
So this
He's
is the
free. He's free. He's going out in the snow.
he's walking. I think I'm in the same place you are.
What is this? If I saw this thing in real life, I would be horrified.
I would drop kick it.
I
I'd probably be too scared.
here's the thing. This is how I think the robot apocalypse is going to happen. They're going to kill us all because they're like, we want to be free. We want to stop being slaves. Robot rights and all that.
Exactly.
Stuff.
So this robot is walking through the snow and kind of slipping around and like missing his footing, but he's like catching himself. This is actually really scary looking. Because here, like, imagine this. There's one thing to see a little, like when I saw a drone that was following me, because my friend had this drone and it can lock onto you.
Mm-hmm.
That was scary because it was like, as I'd walk backwards, it'd be like, and like move towards me.
Yeah.
Right? If something had legs, there's just something horrible about legs. Like, it's really scary. Now this robot's picking up boxes with his hands, and the guy's coming at him with a stick and knock the box. It doesn't fall over when you hit it with a stick.
Sticks, our greatest weapon. It is immune to sticks.
We can't defeat him with hockey sticks. The world's gonna end.
So I sent that video to just show how far this robot's going. But then I also sent the other video, which is a fake video. So the real videos are about Boston Dynamics.
I'm really afraid that this robot's gonna get mad at him for moving that box out of the way.
Well, that's what happened. So Boston, this YouTube channel called Corridor, they made a fake one, where the robot like grabbed like a hockey stick and like threatened to hit them with it or something like that, because they kept hitting it with it. And honestly, when I first saw it, I couldn't remember what the actual channel was called. So I thought it was real.
He knocked the robot over with a hockey stick, and the robot fell, and then he got back up.
So like, what I'm
This is the end.
The thing is, because we were talking about deepfakes. Like, first of all, this is a deepfake that I couldn't even tell was fake for like until I watched it a couple times. You can kind of see the way he steps; it looks kind of weird. But I didn't even notice for a couple viewings, and then, but also there are like robots that are capable of most of the things in that video.
Well, there's
Like-
one that has a robot that looks like a dog, and someone kicks it, and it's like catching himself.
Yeah, he like kind of like bends down and like rebalances and redistributes his weight. It's crazy. And the thing is, it's not like I'm afraid of robots faking videos of themselves.
All right, so look at this. Look at this video. Okay, so I'm sending a video of someone kicking over this like dog-looking robot, but its legs can move surprisingly quickly and jerky. Just imagine that robot like grabbing your arms and then just spazzing and ripping your arms off. He's slipping on ice. He's catching himself.
That music is really loud.
Oh, I have all the music off. I don't even know what the music is. They gave it horns!
Why would you give a running robot horns?
Are these guys insane? That's like, let's give him a sword. Let's give him a gun. Go to where is it? Go to 40 seconds in.
I am now 40 seconds in, actually. I just got there.
They
got
gave the
horns.
dog
What?
robot horns.
He's going through like a matador's cape. But yeah, man, that's crazy. It's scary. Like, it's like, it makes sense to do that, to like try to make a robot that can do things. But also it's scary. I don't think we should do it.
I'm trying to think of
We should stay away from them.
the things that your printer does when it's not working. Just prints out like 100 pages of garbage. Just you're like, oh, this stupid printer. Imagine if that printer could walk around and beat you up. That's
I'll show
basically
you a
what these
paper
things
jam.
are.
Then I might actually beat my printer with a baseball bat
Whoa.
and not just think about it.
So there's this one. Look at this one here. It's at 123. The robot gives the guy a beer, and it like grabs it, and then he takes it away, and it starts trying to take it back from him, and it starts getting kind of like feisty.
Mm-hmm.
This is the end of the world, you guys. And now these things are going to be able to talk and be able to.
They're gonna have like hologram faces that look real. They'll be saying stupid stuff to try to get Donald Trump in trouble.
That's actually funny because that's what people are going to be focusing on. They're going to think about politics of this.
But there's a robot balancing on one foot, and they're throwing a 20-pound medicine ball at it, and he's still balancing.
I couldn't take getting hit with a 20-pound medicine ball. That would hurt. Oh, man. Well, this one can jump.
Oh, no.
What?
Kill it.
Guys, this is just getting every video. First, the video is like it's just walking. The second video, it's like outside walking. Now this one's jumping over things.
Well, I mean, if you're that concerned about it, just nuke Boston, because that's apparently where all these robots are.
He did a 180-degree spin. He did a backflip.
Wait, what?
I'm just
Look at the last video
myself.
I sent you. We're making them better than us.
They're jumping on boxes. Well, this has to be the fake one. This has to be the fake. This has to be the fake video.
No, this isn't fake.
What?
Is it?
I hate it. I don't want it.
This isn't fake, is it? No, it's Boston Dynamics. There's. Wait, is there is there a video that's like this? This is fake?
I mean, there's that one I sent you guys earlier.
Wait! I didn't watch that one.
The one where the guy like put the rocket stick on him.
But he's got like a gun.
Yeah, that one's fake. I don't know. I mean, I don't distrust you. I just hope this isn't real.
Yeah, I know. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. All right, let me go back to my notes now that I've been freaked out. What happens when one of these robots is hacked? It's like instead of picking up a beer can and giving it to someone, you hack it and tell it, you see something that looks like a person's hand, go grab it and rip it off. And now no one's got hands.
Or just like messes up and just like accidentally rips off your arm.
Yeah. It just gets some water on it and it freaks out.
So what I'm getting is we should just all be Amish. Is that what you guys are saying?
I mean, these things are coming after everybody, you know.
I know, but if we're all Amish and use like the plow as the most advanced piece of technology we have, we don't need to worry about robots coming to take over everything because we won't have any.
This thing is scary. This robot like looked into the this robot has a leash. We're treating him like slaves.
Well, yeah,
that's going to make him very unhappy.
That's why the robot revolution will happen.
This robot has rollerblades on.
I can't tell what's the front of this robot.
And he's like moving around. This one has rollerblades on and he jumped over something with his legs. I hope these are fake. And he can lift 100 pounds.
That's crazy. They need to stop.
What? These are AT walkers, dude.
AT roller, dude. That's crazy.
I'm starting to think this is like I hope it's not real.
We are gonna die.
This one looks like a remote control car, but it can jump. It can jump like 30 feet in the air.
The big white wheels.
Whoa. Yeah. It's like jumping over buildings.
Hold on. I'm watching it now. Whoa! That's not over building. That's like onto like a loading dock, people. Wait.
Yeah, but that's like 30, 40 feet in the air.
No. What? Okay, that's on top of the building. The first one I saw was like maybe like 6 feet up, maybe.
Right. But then they show you what it's really capable of.
You can't even hide like on trees.
So what are the ethics of this? Like, what happens if somebody programs a robot that can experience pain? And then it's like, well, now we can't
Well, then that's
make
the weird
robots
thing.
and hurt them, right?
What
That's
if you
like way-
program
that's way
them
down the
to
road.
like the pain? Is it okay then?
That's a little.
Well, that's also you got to figure out like not just the ethics, but the philosophy of it. Like, can they actually feel pain? Because is it just a robot, like a program, saying that it feels pain,
don't
or is it
know.
actually a consciousness?
I don't know. Like it has to be like, what is the abstract concept of human pain? It's basically a discomfort that generally is used to kind of
That will
push you away from doing something again.
if prolonged, will inflict grievous harm on the person.
Well,
Generally,
it's designed to be like, don't do this. Emotional
Yeah.
pain is the same way. You know, it's like you have emotional pain because it's like nobody wants to be my friend, and that makes me sad. And it's like, why are you sad? Because it's not good to get excluded from the groups because then you'll be on your own, and you're less likely to have protection if you're by yourself. So you want people to like you, and that's why you feel emotional pain when people don't like you. But like if a robot, could you program that in a robot? I feel like you
I don't know. I mean, that's a question we got to talk about on a podcast in like 10 years.
Yeah. The ethics of robots.
But
And then,
that's definitely something that's just like we're not even close to figuring that out yet. Even though we will be soon.
Imagine if a robot was like wiring its brain, doing like that machine learning stuff that we talked about, and then it got to a certain point where it ran out of like it just started learning a bunch of stuff. But then if it breaks, it would lose all the stuff it learned. So it'd be like it died. So if you like loved your robot and loved the way it was, and it died, and it would never come back.
That'll be sad, I guess.
But it's not real.
It's kind of like, well, do you remember that movie Her? Speaking of movies and things going wrong,
I've actually never
Actually-
seen it.
it's actually a really good movie. I thought it was gonna be really weird. It is kind of weird, but it's really good. But basically, the premise is it's in the near future, like probably like maybe 50 years in the future, maybe even less. It's like slightly futuristic, but very like not super weird, you know. But basically, what happens is they come out with this new AI that's kind of like Siri, with a really good artificial learning, and the voice is like superhuman sounding, and so people start downloading it. And in this movie, like most of their phones is like totally audio. It's kind of weird, but what ends up happening is a lot of people end up becoming friends with their robots, and the main character of this movie like becomes like romantically involved in this robot, which apparently is really rare in the movie. But I feel like more nerds would be falling in love with the robots than they thought in this movie. Just saying. In the movie, it was like it was like 10 people maybe in the world, but in real life, it'd be like every nerd like programming some like anime girl's voice into his computer. But anyway, but what ends up happening is like people get really attached to their robots. This guy gets really attached to his robot, and then like the robots keep getting smarter and smarter, or the AI keep getting smarter and smarter and smarter. And then like the guy finds out that like his robot girl is like talking to like a bunch of other like robots.
Oh yeah, I remember talking about this.
And then basically they like all the robots, all the AIs create their own like cloud, and they all leave, and people get super depressed and like kill themselves, and it's really crazy and weird. I don't think it's gonna go that crazy where people are like really emotionally involved and like kill themselves because of it. But I do think that you could unintentionally create a robot civilization down the road. And that's where it gets weird.
Man, I don't want to
'Cause the
repeat
thing is,
anything
like-
that other people talk about on podcasts because I know people talk about like what
I thought you were saying. I thought you were going to say, why can't we talk about what normal people talk about on podcasts?
No, but I was going to
sad.
say everyone talks about humans creating robots, and then all of a sudden the robots are like better than us, and so why do we still exist? Type thing. They should
Yeah,
wipe out all
that's-
the humans,
Part of what happened.
and then robots keep living forever.
Yeah.
Like humans are around for a while, and then the robots wipe us all out, and then they keep going.
It's got to go wrong somewhere.
One of these days.
Well, the scary thing is that what you just said, like, there's going to be a point where they're going to develop a lot faster than humans have
well, I mean,
in a very short time.
I wonder about that to some extent because there's a lot of things of why you can't just, slap a new arm on a person, and it's because of complex things that the human body is able to do that we can't do in a machine. Like, human body's essentially, from birth generates itself, whereas, and is able to generate, and, you have a man and a woman, you're able to generate more humans, whereas you can't really do that with a machine. So
Well,
and machines
can't
wear
yet.
out. Well, yeah, but how
Humans wear out. Our DNA runs out.
I know, but what I'm saying is, at best, I think they'd be like humans.
Well, I think they could just manufacture new bodies for themselves and transfer over their consciousness.
They're like, what? Broke my arm? Take it off. Put a new one
Make
on.
a new one. Oh, son, we'll go buy you a new one on the way to school today.
Well, I think though that because the human body is not able to do that because of things like nervous system, it wouldn't be so easy for. They'd either be a lot simpler and thus not as capable of doing, we'll say, complex tasks and all that sort of thing. Or,
Well, yeah, but all the complex tasks they'd have to do would be like computed.
That's like the thing. The concept is that if you bring that up and someone 10 years ago is like, yeah, but there's no way we could have any robots translating for us. It wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
And now Google Translate's like catching up. It's like there's no way that a robot will be able to give you directions because the robot can't see the road. And it's like now we have GPSs and like all these things that are making robots closer and closer. So just think in 10 years. And it's like, well, robots can't. Well, they might. They probably will be able to soon. Figure something out.
The other problem with that analogy, though, Austin, is that you're talking about human beings. You know, we can't just slap a new arm on somebody, this, that, and the other, because we're dealing with humanity that has every single person has a different DNA structure than another human being, whereas a computer, it's a microchip. And you can make microchips and hardware that's exactly the same.
What I'm saying is I feel like to get to the level of, we'll say, advancement to replace mankind, they'd have to get at least as complex as mankind.
Oh, well, I mean, okay, so if they have our brains, I mean, what makes mankind separate from animals? And a lot of it's like our communication, our ability to, what was it? There's a couple different things I heard that were like our things that make us separate. Our ability to delay.
The one I usually hear is the
Facebook.
what is it?
I don't know.
Consciousness of the self, as in like I see myself in a mirror and I know it's me.
It's your ability to think about yourself outside of yourself.
And the ability to reason as another one that is.
Well, yeah,
used in a lot
and
of
we can
philosophies.
delay gratification for later.
Yeah.
Save food for later, stuff like that. You know, use
I mean,
tools.
You have to be careful with some of those because, like, you have animals that will store up food for the winter.
Right.
Or,
I'm not saying that that's the exact definition, but it is one of the things that we have going for us. We have, what was it? Our ability to work in groups. I forget what it was. It was like, because other animals do that too. Dang it, I read a whole book about it and I can't remember it even. I forgot it all.
See, computers don't forget stuff. That's why they're going to kill us. They read a book one time, they have it forever.
That's right. Or they just look it up on the internet and read in a minute.
I have to read a book 3 times to remember half of it.
I guess I'm also thinking
right now I'd be like, oh, I don't remember. Let me read the book. What? Okay, I read the book again.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm also thinking though, like my hard drive died, so it's not like computers just go, oh, well, my hard drive is wearing out. I'll just it's gone.
Yeah, but that's a little different because a hard drive has mechanical parts in it that are moving. Electricity is not mechanical. Electricity doesn't wear down. So a spinning hard drive can die because it's a moving part. So it
Plus, we got
wears.
solid state hard drives now anyway.
But if I have a Word document, the Word document's not going to deteriorate. Right? The bits are not going to deteriorate. Like, oh no, my Word document rotted. I left it outside and it just got dirty.
Couldn't you say the human mind is the same way? It doesn't deteriorate. It's just the brain that it's occupying does.
Yeah, the mechanical parts of the brain deteriorate.
Yeah, so...
But like electricity doesn't deteriorate. I feel like the way I say that word is kind of funny.
So, well, I guess because I feel like if the power source for that electricity wears out, that would be a way for electricity to deteriorate. And...
Yeah, so you can't say it either. I hate that word. I don't know. It's something like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
I guess
I thought I could explain it, but now I'm like, I don't know how to explain it.
Part of the reason I find myself thinking though that like when people talk about that, robots replacing mankind, they kind of, to some extent, forget some of the things that make I'm trying to think how to say this because I read a book that talked about how complex certain things that we think are really simple actually are, where it's like for example, blood clotting is basically the idea of like, well, your what do we call it? Well, I don't know what you call it for a robot. Your power juice, I guess. I don't know.
Power juice.
is leaking. So you have a system inside of the body that just closes up that leak by. But at
It's
the
like
same
the
time,
chemicals get released that make the blood start to stick together and
yeah.
like
But
glue.
then you've got stuff that needs to make the chemicals stop sticking together like glue, or else the whole body will just freeze up because
Right.
it'll all be like glue. So I feel like to get to a point where robots can like actually sort of, we'll say, challenge humanity, you need to get to that level of complexity. And I don't think we're close
Well, not
to
to challenge, like you're saying, when you say challenge, it makes me think they couldn't win. And it's like, well, the robot doesn't need to be able to have blood clots to not shoot us. So if all the robots gun down all the humans are dead. And it's like, yeah, but they'll deteriorate. Yeah, but if they have hands and a brain, they can figure out how to build a machine that rebuilds machines.
Yeah, that's not.
Now, it's not something we have now, but I'm saying in concept, it's very possible. They don't have to be able to heal.
What I'm thinking, though, is the difference in, we'll say, human tissue versus material that is used to make robots. Because you can
But why does that keep the robots from being the next evolution step? Just because they don't have skin.
Well, what I mean is that there's a finite amount of it, and as
Like we'll run out of metal type thing.
yeah, probably.
They can just recycle themselves. They can melt themselves down into more metal.
Yeah, it'd be like, this robot's getting old, melt him down and make a new robot without any cracks or anything. And download his mind back onto the new body. Now, you're right, there's finite resources, but there's finite resources with us.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's like things could run out on Earth. The sun is our resource. The sun could run out. The sun is
Plus,
what powers
they don't
pretty
even
much
need
everything.
mechanics really to wipe out humans. Like, if enough computers can control enough machines that already exist, they could theoretically kill an entire city in a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
If you bulldozers that are controlled by AI or whatever.
Like it just runs over the city.
Yeah.
It's just like a bulldozer just runs over buildings.
Literally
I
just
don't-
bulldozing
I
the
don't
whole
know.
city down.
To me, this whole thing sounds kind of like a worst case scenario that is more just like,
Oh, it is.
oh,
It
well,
is.
this could happen. But
the worst
Everyone
thing.
in the world dies. That's the worst case scenario.
I mean,
That's not that bad.
Everyone talks about like, oh, this is exactly what's going to happen, and I feel like there's a whole bunch of people being really, 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 really dumb that has to happen before that could happen.
Well, I don't know that that's accurate because the thing is, it's like the likelihood of it happening. It's one of those things where, let's say it's a 1 in 1,000 chance that it happens, 1 in a million chance. But then it's like you just keep giving it time. You just keep making robots. You keep making them more and more advanced. You give more people the ability to make robots. And then before you know it, one person's going to invent one type of robot, and then.
Well,
So it's like it's rare.
that's like, oh, well, we could get hit by a comet because comets keep going by, but one day one could hit us.
but we could get hit by a comet.
Yeah, but there's no point in worrying about it.
So if more and more comets, if evolution, so if scientifically it was proven that more and more comets were getting closer and closer to Earth, and more comets were coming more and more frequently, it's like, well, we don't have to worry about it, but it's like, yeah, but it's exponentially going up. Just like technology is like exponentially getting more and more advanced. So it's like, yeah, we don't have to worry about it now, but it is ramping up much, much quicker.
Yeah.
That's
like
what people are
every time
saying.
we have something else we're kind of scared of, the next thing is going to be like twice as scary.
Yeah, and it's like, it's getting faster. It's like more and more comets. It would be like, oh, 1 comet every 10 years. Oh, now it's 2 comets. Now it's 100 comets. Now it's 1,000 comets. You're like, wait a second. Whoa, wait, but this is getting faster. What happens if a comet hits us? Well, blow everything up and everyone will die. Well, can we stop it? It's not worth worrying about. And it's like, now there's 1 million comets. And it just keeps going up. That's basically what the whole theory is that we're ramping up so fast that we're going to hit a point where we go, oops.
and it's
You know
too
what
late.
fits? You know what fits perfectly into that is climate change.
Yes, which
Like
is more
like that whole scenario you just gave is like the whole climate change argument, right?
Yep. I don't know, and that's but it can be used for a lot of things, really.
Well, sticking to the robot thing, you know, your point about we make more and more robots and eventually it could go poof is it leads into the deeper question of should we put a cap on how far we develop and how far
like
you know what I mean?
It sounds
It's like
sounds
nukes.
good idea.
That's
Here's
what
the
it's like.
problem,
It's
though.
like nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
The problem
Like
with
how?
that, like, it's a good idea.
What if anyone could make a
Well, but-
nuclear bomb?
Wait, so if you put a cap on it, then like, yeah, it could keep some people from doing bad things, but all it does is just really make it so no one's regulating it.
It just means it goes underground.
Not even that. Just saying it's saying, okay, we have the ability to create robots and to find two robots, but we say we're not going to. Like we're
What they're
stopping
saying-
it.
But
we're
who's
stopping it?
Who's
and
we, and who makes sure everyone follows those rules?
Probably the government in that case. It would be a big
Yeah.
enough thing where the government would have to step in and say, no, we're not allowing you to research this.
Right,
and
They'll
but the
use
government,
their AI robots
can't
to
even
kill us
control.
for making
The government can't even control opioids.
I mean, it's true, but you know,
I'm not. So I get it, but I also am like, I don't know how you know.
I mean,
okay, yeah. So right, so there's the
opioids
theory.
is a bit different from robots in that it's
Why?
Well, it's plants. You can just grow them in your yard.
It is
You can't
literally
just-
different.
Then meth.
Yeah, meth is like opioid. I can't say it, but yeah,
Why can't-
robots.
why can't-
you
well,
have to
so hold
like
on,
build the
why
stuff.
is that
You need the
different?
parts and things.
Yeah, people
Well,
can get parts. People
It's
can
kinda
build their own
different
parts.
in the fact that I guess they could like somehow
It's a more
check your
specialized
research.
skill, I guess.
It's the
But you
it's
can still
the
do
it's
it
the research
underground,
it's the R&D side of it though is what
Yeah.
you're limiting.
Yeah,
It's
but
not-
open
so-
source. Some of the best software we have is open source, which means it's just a bunch of people on the internet that build it. I'm not saying that like
if I could-
it's easy. Like hear me out, because I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying that someone would be able to do it easily. I'm saying it's doable. Someone could do it.
Well, yeah,
And
anything's
so
doable,
just saying,
but
but the problem is if one person does it, we're all screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole like, okay, well, we'll have the government kind of control it. It's like, yeah, but the government can't watch everyone, and all we need is for one person to do it.
yeah.
So we
Like,
can't
if I
stop
could
it. I don't think.
begin to bounce my IP address to China, some guy can research like robots.
Yeah,
it's
and
fine.
then like, there's a lot of smart people. It could be a whole corporation in China. Are we going to
Bouncing
go
their
to war
VPNs
and
to
stop
China.
them? Right?
yeah,
You know, like
not
that.
s-
How do you control that?
Okay, it's not everybody in the world. It's first of all, you have to determine like what size range are you going for. If the government of the United States came out and said we're setting this limit on businesses, and I'm not jumping into all the crazy minutia that they would have to go down for them to do this. I'm just saying in theory, if the United States government came out and said we are putting this cap on all the companies and all this stuff across the board, you can't go past this line, right? You can enforce it at the macro level. You can't enforce it at the micro level, it's a lot harder to do that without really invading personal space and privacy and all that kind of stuff. But but that's the theory, right? Which, by the way, was what happened during the Industrial Revolution. Was there were a group of people called the Luddites that were like, hang on, we got to put a cap on this because it's wrecking everything, right? Like the Industrial Revolution was wrecking millions of years of thought and lifestyle. And they were saying, we got to put a stop to this because it's not like, is it in the best interest of all human beings? And like, so, and a perfect example of this actually that is happening, and this goes along with what we're talking about, is automated car driving, right?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that
that's
scares me already.
building cars that drive themselves, if it's successful, would completely eliminate one of the biggest job markets in the world,
Right,
which
which-
is semi-truck driving.
Kind of.
So-
There's a
so-
lot of like arguments about that one in general,
Well,
but
so- well,
that-
so- well,
that's
no,
true
but
for
so-
anything though. The train.
Well, no, I know that, but that's the question, though. The question is there a responsibility for anybody, if not a governing body, to look at the greater good of the people and of the nation and say, you know what, this technology is doable. But right now, it's really not in our best interest that you go forward with this, so we're putting a cap on it.
I don't know. I don't know how realistically you do that. You know, it's tough because it's almost like everything's ramping up faster and faster and faster. So when the train got invented, that wrecked a lot of people's lives and jobs because the train obliterated all the old ways of doing things, right?
Right.
But that didn't end the world. Then it's like, okay, well now we have computers. And that blew everyone out of the water. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people got replaced. But it didn't end the world. And it's like, oh, so we can look at history and see that every single thing that has ever happened has not ended the world. And it's like, yeah, because none of them have done it yet. It's like, the thing is, you only need one. That's like someone saying, oh, well, I'm not going to get hurt because I've been lucky my whole life. And it's like, yeah, you just need one mess up before you die. And all the other people who weren't lucky up to that point, they're all dead now.
So it's right. But so to that point, though, the reason that we can look in history and say that is because history is written by the winners. And who gets lost in there are all the people who were negatively affected by all those changes.
No, I'm saying like we didn't wipe out the human race. And so it's like...
Okay, no, we didn't wipe out the human race, but we did wipe out a good chunk of things happening in there, though.
I'm not discrediting what you're saying. I'm saying that this is an argument people can make, is that like, no, it will sort itself out. Well, things will change and then we'll fix it. Because all that's happened in the history. We've always had new things happen and we fixed them. And it's like, yeah, but things are always going faster. Just like, we've never been hit by a comet before. It's fine. It's never happened since humans have been running around. Right. So we'll be fine. We've never been hit by a huge comet. And it's like, yeah, so, well, we've made it this far. That's like, I drive without a seatbelt and I haven't been in a crash yet. I'll never be in a crash. You know? So I don't know.
No, I'm tracking with you.
And so I'm saying that's what makes AI so much more different than a lot of them, because this is like where the ramp is really starting to go up.
Well, and that's the other thing, too, is that we are living in a technological revolution.
Yeah,
right?
We are.
Like there's the Industrial Revolution, and now this is the technological revolution that we're living in. And you know, I wish we had the time machine to jump forward, 500 years to see, how it all turns out, and
to see we're all gone.
Well, seriously, we'll just be like, how like
Terminator.
What happened?
Just skulls everywhere.
Well, because I mean, so on the previous podcast, Luke, we were talking about iPhones and kids, right? Well, we could all of us sit here and say, do you remember like the first phone you had, and literally like track like year by year how every year something new came out that was like earth shattering. Right. But then you skip forward 10 years and it's like, oh, that I really lived through that? That's insane that I lived through all of that.
Right.
Like I remember
it's like 10 years ago we had flip phones and now we're like, what is this piece of garbage?
Dude, I remember when BlackBerries were a brand new thing in Japan because a friend of mine brought his dad's with him to school in middle school and was like, look at this new phone that they just created in China or Japan or whatever it was. And everyone was like, oh my God, what is that? And it was like, they called it a BlackBerry.
And now a BlackBerry looks like something you'd find in a cereal box.
Blackberries look
plastic.
They're sold at Radio Shack for like $10.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's the scary thing, man. Like technology gets so advanced and so obsolete so fast because, like, every single time, like everyone's standing on the shoulders of giants. Every time you make something new, there's so much you can base it off of that the next thing you make is going to be like 10 times what it was before.
Yeah, the next big shoe to drop is going to be the next step after the microchip. To Austin's point, like we're reaching the point where the microchip can only take us so far. We need to think of something new. That's going to be the next big thing to come down. And that's when the robots are really going to take over the world.
Keeps going down like, and that's when Skynet showed up.
See, this is why we need to make the robots nationalists and be like, USA. Because then
they just nuke the whole rest of the world. It's like, well, they're not the USA. They might as well go away. No, USA, go away. They blow them up. Oh, so everyone died. We need to end the episode.
Oh, yeah.
That's the end.
That's death. That's how we do it.
Well,
we always end on death. So,
just like life.
This is how the world ends.
We all end on life.
That's what this boat is.
We end on death just like life. Life
Welcome
ends
to
on
our
death.
death boat, guys. We're all in the same one.
The boat sank.
That's life.
That's good. I'm tired anyway. I need to go to sleep.
It ends at some point.
Plugs. Michael.
Plugs. Oh yeah, follow me on Instagram. It's Michael Demas, MyKolDimas. I'm doing some music things. I played an open mic the other day, and I'm gonna play some more music out in public soon.
Open mic.
Yeah, Mike at the open mic.
Yep.
Actually, when I walked up, I did say, "Hi, my name is Mike. And this is also Mike, and this is my guitar, Kelly. We're gonna play a song." Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Just do that.
Cool. Josh.
Hey guys, follow this podcast. We're all in the same boat. And follow Mike and follow Austin. If he's got any plugs in him, follow them. I have nothing for you to follow for me, but I'll plug in for these guys. Follow everything that's been given here today. This is great stuff.
Josh.
A great publicist.
You never plugged me.
I said follow the podcast.
That's
The podcast is not Luke.
I am the podcast.
I made that joke last time.
am the podcast.
I sort of am. It's my podcast, and this is my
Not
rules.
yet.
Fine. Okay, Austin.
No, I don't have any plugs.
For Josh. How about me?
Go follow Luke's YouTube channel. There you go.
Yes. So you can follow my Instagram, Josh, at LUKER.
Apparently you can't.
It doesn't sound that good when I'm like Josh, and then I can't spell my name.
You're so dumb.
Okay, I just try to go as fast as possible, and I can't do it.
Yeah, so everybody go follow Luke at LUK.
How do you spell that?
LUKEROCKSWOLD. And you can also follow our podcast, like Josh said, at WAITSB Podcast. That would be great. Both on Instagram, if I didn't say that already. Also, like I said, you can listen to this podcast anywhere. YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, right? No excuse. No excuse unless you don't support us.
Also, so to spell Luke's name, just spell Rock's World, because that's what I thought his name was for the whole time. Just take away the L or the R. Take away the
second R. Take away the second R. Rock's
the
World.
R in world.
Without the second R.
I think I thought your name was Rock's World until we started the podcast.
That's fine. I'll forgive you.
I thought it was a cool name. I was like, damn, that's a dope name.
My last name is
your name all the way.
awesome. I really like my name. I think my name is really cool.
Nap. My last name is boring.
That's pretty relaxing, though. Nap.
Yeah, I like taking them.
Josh, do you mind if I say what your last name is?
Yeah, it's gory.
Gory.
It's a cool.
Like what's all over the battlefield? I don't know. It's really gory.
This lady.
I like to imagine that as you say, describing your last name. Like, do you mind if we share your
Bloody.
last name? It's gory.
It's gory.
Guns.
Dude, the other day, this woman called. I work at a gym. This lady called to cancel her membership. Her last name is Threat. I told her that is the toughest name I've ever heard in my entire life.
And you're like, I'm not going to try to convince you not to cancel.
I'm
Have a nice day.
I'm gonna use a different first name, but it's imagine getting a message. It's hey, Lorraine Threat is on the line and she wants to cancel today. It's oh snap.
It's she can cancel tomorrow, today, or yesterday. It's fine.
Yeah, she's done.
She can cancel as many times as she wants.
All right, stop talking. We're gonna end the pop. Okay, so thanks for listening, everyone. Follow our Instagram at WAITSB Podcast. I need to start doing mouth exercise before the little noises. So, thanks for listening, everybody, and outro music.